We are doing just a kind of generic clean out of my MacBook Air. It's right here I'm just kind of showing you the screws, right? So we've got long screws on these back two and the kind of short stubbies all around. So first I'm just taking it all off, and then I'm going to pop open the cover. You can see this is one of the much smaller ones. There's only two types, so you really, oh sorry, I kind of missed that. Yeah, there's only really two types, but 10 screws total, 8 of the short ones, 2 of the longer ones, and they're pretty cheap to buy replacements for, but you probably need to get the tool to remove them because it's the star shape and it's really tiny. Most kits don't have something that sizing. These little rubber pads here, those also come off with the same shape screw, but I haven't had any issues with those coming off. My screws, though, they come loose over the years, or they disappear, or whatever have you. So yeah, really we're just going to do a generic cleaning here, but I will also show you battery, and so if you wanted to do a battery replacement, because this is old now and I definitely should do it for it, but it's just not worth it to me. It's when I just keep it home, keep it on the charger. Right, so here I'm just kind of cleaning out, dusting, removing some grime, but I'm using a paper towel. You really shouldn't do that if it's a piece you care about. Paper towel and electronics aren't the greatest mix because they can leave little kind of little pieces behind and get caught in. You probably have some issues with adding more crap into your system or causing overheating or whatever. You should really use something like microfiber or whatever. Oh look, a feather. Why is there a feather inside the laptop? No idea, but there it was. Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's best, but if it's like, like mine, it's kind of an old beater that you just use for some generic stuff. Like it's not going to ruin your day if you're careful with it. I'm more doing it just to kind of show you how dirty this gets. You can just see all the grime piling up. You can also use one of those, I think they're like little like NOS cleaners or something. They're like, buy them anywhere where you get computer bits. It kind of looks like a can of WD-40 with like a long nozzle that you spray in compressed air and it'll kind of blow it out. So that's pretty much all you really need to do for this. But again, nothing complicated today. This is a really simple piece. This is something you should do with some amount of regularity. Like I'm talking at least once a year. I would say probably more, but I know that this sucker, because it wasn't mine originally, hasn't had that kind of maintenance. So here we go. Just kind of clean out, dab a little, because like I said, I don't want to get all those little fuzzies torn off. And on this side here, there's a lot more of all the technical components, a lot of things that can snag on, a lot of sharp little edges. There's that star shape I was trying to show you, but it's kind of shit zoom in, sorry. Yeah, and a lot of things are screwed down here, unless you're doing some sophisticated replacements or you know what you're dealing with. There's not really too much you should be doing around in this area. I just was like, you know what, I haven't ever been in this one before, so let's just kind of tighten up what I can. But there you can see, right, rough size, pretty much the same screws that were used on the outside to keep the base plate on. So you can just go through, tighten all those up, minor cleaning, and then yeah, so make sure everything's nice, secure. You don't want anything rattling around. Okay, yeah, so now I'm focusing on the side with the battery. So on my left, again, just kind of get this all out. There's 4 cells on this. I was kind of like caught when I was looking at this because 3 of them kind of look standard, normal, whatever, and then the one third away from me is kind of like bumpy. I don't know if there's something design in there that's different, or if it's just I'll explain it in a second, or if it's just like had yeah, some wear and tear over the years, and that's the one that's causing the main problem. I don't know. Again, I'm not replacing this battery, but if I could, you could buy used ones that are pretty cheap and then just kind of pop it in here. Again, you need a slight technical know-how because there's like a little latch you'd have to deal with. Anyway, so yeah, that was a that was a mini like leaf blower essentially, but like really like handheld. I was just gonna like open that would maybe do something that my paper towel wiping could do. Not really. It turns out it didn't really do much. So yeah, go with that compressed air I was talking about, or you know, you find something else that works better. But it just the pizza is not gonna be doing what you need. So anyway, yeah, just kind of checking it out before I pop the battery up. Trying to find a spot there that's not horrendously dirty already. Okay, so here's one of the microfiber cloths that I was talking about. This is generally what you would rather use to clean out electronics in general. And the same thing, right? Like sunglasses, computer screens, internal components. There's probably someone who will tell you, oh no, you got to use X, Y, or Z, or only this thing can be used, or blah blah blah. But just the point I want to get out is it's better than a paper towel, right? It's not going to leave the fibers behind. It's not going to be damaging for your stuff. It's the only thing is like, right? They're not. I don't want to use it first because I don't want to get it super dirty and then be doing around because it holds it all, right? Like I can kind of get the dust and grime out of the way with the paper towel first. Maybe there's something you could use like I'm saying kind of like a baby wipe or something, right? Something that's like a wet paper towel, but you obviously don't want to introduce water to your electronics. But yes, maybe there's something like that you can use first. I don't know. Look into your stuff first and then do it. But that's just what I did. Okay, so yeah, so clean it up and then use this microfiber cloth. Then again, we got the same type of screws all around the battery harness. So I just set them next to the computer and in the same layout as where they're set. That's what I like to do when I'm dealing with electronics. It's obviously nice to take pictures before and after or to record what you're doing so you can kind of just work backwards. But I just set them in the exact layout because there's not so many. There were like 8 or something. I set them in the exact layout of where they sit in a kind of mirror, not a mirror image, but a same side image to the side. And then I can just work my way backwards and plug them out in the same order in reverse. Or forwards, I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, you can't see it because it's just out of frame here, but I put them all there. Just be mindful of what you do with the screws. Later I can definitely drop one, so, you know, always the fun of it. Okay, so here you can see I've got the battery, the 4 cells linked together by this frame. Now I didn't pull it up because there is something keeping it attached to the base, and so just kind of like feeling around seeing it. So right at that top, so the side farthest from me, there is a strip connecting it to the main plate, and it has a little latch and thing. I think it'd be pretty easy to get it off. I'll pop up a picture in a second of what it looks like. I think it'd be pretty easy to get your battery off. My big concern is that putting it back on, you might not be able to do so easily. If you've worked with computers, you'll be fine, but you know, just something to bear in mind, like, right, if you're doing your own replacement or something, watch a separate piece on how to deal with these latches. Okay, so I'll pop that picture now. Okay, yeah, so nothing really further for me to do here without taking that out, and I don't want to. So just kind of setting it back down and make sure it's seated correctly. And then I'm going to put my screws back. That's when I realized I knocked one off. So then I go scrounging for it because everything else is set right, all of them but the one that fell. And so I'm like, okay, if I can find this and get it back, then I keep my order, I know where everything goes. Sorry about that. I'll find it, and I definitely my tear over in the haste. But say la vie. Cool, got him. Happy days. You see how tiny that was, right? Like just on this open floor. Whew. Okay, good cover. Got it back, and now we're just gonna pop them in. I think I do it in reverse order. Again, the seating just felt a little funny, so I just kind of played with that a couple times, but it's just because of that strip connecting. But I just want to make sure everything's set. Once you kind of put in your screws, you'll make sure it's gonna go. But you do like when you're doing a car tire, right? Starter pattern, right? Tightening ones across from each other or something like that. But it doesn't matter so much. Just as long as it's flush, you're gonna be fine. So I grabbed my microfiber and I just kind of touch up some little things that I was noticing here and there, and then I realized, oh yeah, before I like start sealing this all up and do whatever, so I haven't put my screws in right, so I'm just using my hands to make sure that stays there. And I'm just gonna give it a little tap around because I was like, you know what, there's probably some stuff lodged here and there. I can probably just kind of give it a nice tap, dislodge some stuff, some things that maybe I wasn't getting with the cloth or that I was just kind of pushing into the corner. Like earwax, right? One of the reasons you're not supposed to use Q-tips, but we all do anyway. So just kind of gave it a little tap around, trying to knock some dust loose. I wanted to kind of give it a little Shazam right here as well, so I do that with a battery, but it's a little bit harder, so I just use the side of the laptop. I mean, this thing's kind of beat up, to be honest. I got like little cut up corners and edges and whatever, so I'm not so worried about it. You maybe don't want to do it with your sweet baby book that's only a year old or something, but yeah, this thing's pretty beat, so whatever. So then I can start doing all my screws. So then just kind of giving a final wipe down with the Microfiber on that base plate that I don't think I did fully in the beginning, and just kind of finishing that up, then showing it to you for presentation, which it didn't focus, so damn. But, make sure you get it all set up. So nothing really special, just kind of whatever, wanted to look good, but I decided I don't want to screw everything in yet. I want it to flip first. So that's, again, just make sure you hold your things in place. Do my top, and then I also want to get the internal while it's before everything's set, just in case there is anything like kind of dust kind of flowing through or pieces sticking out or whatever, so be it, right? So this is kind of what I wanted to do. I wanted to get right in here, and yes, I'll do my screen because it's a microfiber, and why not, even though I just got it dirty with the internals. But mostly the crease is kind of where I wanted to hit, because I was just noting some gunk and build up there. But I think it also helped that I bought the new screws. I'm going to tighten everything down, because that was one of the things that was driving me nuts and why I did this in the first place, is that the screws on the base plate were just kind of over the years coming loose. Ones were flying off, and a couple different things. So get those set, put it back, and then you can tighten your base plate again. 10 screws, 2 long ones by the hinge, and 8 around the rest. Okay, so everything's well set, well tightened, and just kind of organize my stuff, put it away. That final little dust off really makes a big difference right there. And then, so just showing you, right, so that's pretty much run through on just kind of a generic maintenance cleaning of your MacBook Air.